Imagine a world where your favorite annual event could vanish overnight because of a virus. That's exactly what's at stake for Melbourne's Royal Show, where poultry exhibitions have become a high-stakes game of risk management. You see, H5N1 bird flu isn't just a health crisis. It's a cultural reckoning. These shows aren't just about judging chickens. They're about heritage, community, and the fragile line between tradition and survival. And right now, that line is getting thinner by the day. What makes this really interesting is how a single virus is forcing us to confront the uncomfortable truth that our love for these events might clash with the reality of modern biosecurity. It's like watching a centuries-old ritual collide with a 21st century pandemic. Personally, I think it's a microcosm of our broader struggle to balance human activity with nature's unpredictable threats. Let's break this down. The Melbourne Royal Show, which brings together hundreds of birds for competitions, is now facing a potential shutdown for the second time in 3 years. Why? Because H5N1 is spreading like wildfire among wild birds, and the authorities are scrambling to contain it. But here's the kicker. Even though there are no confirmed cases in poultry yet, the fear is enough to make exhibitors panic. I mean, think about it. These are people who've spent decades breeding birds, sometimes with generations of genetics at stake. Would you risk losing that legacy over a virus that's still lurking in the shadows? Of course not. And that's why the Victorian Poultry Fanciers Association is pushing for cancellations. The numbers are staggering. 215 confirmed cases in wild birds across Australia. That's not just a statistic. It's a ticking clock for everyone involved. Now, let's talk about the biosecurity measures. Victoria's chief vet is pushing for poultry owners to house their birds indoors to reduce contact with wild birds. But here's where it gets messy. Free-range egg farmers are caught in a paradox. They can't afford to lose their free-range label, but they also can't risk their hens' lives. It's like being told to stay inside during a storm, but still keep your windows open. One farmer I spoke to said it's a nightmare. You can't build a shed overnight if you've got 25,000 hens. That's not just logistical, it's economic. And yet, they're expected to adapt. What many people don't realize is how deeply this crisis is dividing the industry. Some are proactive, others are resigned. A detail I find fascinating is how the government is trying to walk a tightrope between public health and economic stability. On one hand, they want to prevent outbreaks. On the other, they're aware that shutting down shows could devastate local economies. But this isn't just about chickens and eggs. It's about how we handle crises in an interconnected world. When the Royal Adelaide Show also cancels its bird competitions, it signals a larger trend. Biosecurity isn't just a local issue anymore. It's a global challenge. And yet, the response feels fragmented. Farmers are being told to go with the flow. But what does that even mean? If you're a small breeder, you might survive by adjusting. But for someone like Graham Metry, who's seen entire auctions shut down before, it's a different story. He's not worried about the virus. He's worried about the lack of support. No compensation, no clear plan. It's a system that punishes resilience. This all raises a deeper question. How do we preserve traditions when a world keeps changing under our feet? The Melbourne Royal Show is more than an event. It's a symbol of rural Australia's identity. But if H5N1 continues to spread, that symbol might fade. What's the alternative? Do we accept that some traditions are too risky to maintain? Or do we find new ways to honor them without compromising safety? In my opinion, the answer lies in innovation. Maybe virtual exhibitions? Or stricter, more localized events? But until then, we're stuck in this limbo, watching history rewrite itself one cancel competition at a time. What would you do if your livelihood depended on a tradition that's now under threat? That's the real question, isn't it?